So it is now time for another Q&A brought to you by Candid. If you would like to participate in these, you could join the Humanist Report group on the Candid app available on iOS or Android, and our group has now actually just passed 600 members. So this is awesome. So let's go ahead and get into the questions. Do you think Hillary Clinton will be indicted now? So here's the thing about that. Even though the FBI is effectively reopening their investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server, there's this story that was published by Fox News basically saying that there's an FBI insider saying that a Hillary Clinton indictment is likely, just to give anyone context. And the problem with this story is that the FBI does not have the authority to indict. The Department of Justice is the one that has to indict Hillary Clinton. And an FBI insider will have no idea what the Department of Justice will do if it is the case that the FBI does recommend an indictment, because that's all they can do. So regardless if she is or isn't indicted, it's not going to be up to the FBI exclusively. It'll be up to the Justice Department. So that's why I have a hard time believing this story, because unless that FBI insider has a connection to someone at the Department of Justice who says that they're going to just follow through with whatever the FBI recommends, then it's not true. I mean, the FBI just doesn't have the authority to indict. So be skeptical of that story. Mike, do you watch anime? If so, what shows do you enjoy most? I personally enjoy Cory in the House, Hell's Kitchen, Seinfeld, and The Shawshank Redemption. Seriously, though, you're doing a great job reporting the issues. Hope you keep up the good work. Thanks so much. So I'm pretty sure that those are not anime. Look, I don't watch anime. I thought about getting into it and maybe subscribing to Crunchyroll, but I don't have time to watch the shows that I already like. Maybe in the future I will get into anime, but I do have a friend who likes anime who has recommended me a ton of shows. So I'll have a good place to start if I do get into it someday. Hey Mike, because of Susan Sarandon's recent endorsement of Jill Stein, do you think other activists for Bernie will endorse her too? I really, really hope so. Because if you are not supporting either of the two main party candidates, you're kind of, you're a pioneer right now, I guess you could say. You're a maverick. So yeah, I think you should come out and say you support Jill Stein. If you do, if you're a celebrity, it could really help her. Hi Mike, I was just wondering what kind of animal is living in that terrarium in your living room. This is referring to when I do my quick video blogs. There's a cage in the back. So that has a red-knee tarantula. It's a Mexican red-knee tarantula, the exact same kind from Home Alone. Currently in there. You might see it on the glass one day if I do a vlog. He likes to kind of sit up on the glass and just chill. Hi Mike, I was just wondering if you use Tumblr. Why or why not? I never used Tumblr until I started the podcast, and I made a Tumblr account for the show. I don't even know if it still exists, and I just didn't use it because, it seemed like there wasn't a lot of interest for the podcast on Tumblr. And generally speaking, I don't know. It just seems redundant. Like, I have Twitter, I have Facebook. Why use Tumblr? That's kind of my thoughts. Hey Mike, do you think if Jill Stein gets 5% of the vote on November 8th, the Green Party will be able to pull the Democrats to the left? I'm also jealous of your beard, man. I'm 23 and have a few hairs. Well, thank you so much. I do. I absolutely think that it will pull Democrats further to the left, because with Hillary Clinton, if she does win, it'll kind of solidify this rightward shift of Democrats. But if they pull in 5%, they're going to have to turn right around and be liberal again, or at least be more liberal. And they don't want that to happen, hence why they've been trying to attack Jill Stein. Well, you see these baseless smears in the Daily Beast against Jill Stein. So I'm really crossing my fingers that she reaches 5%, because yes, the Democrats will have to move further to the left. Hi Mike, I'm a pro-bearder. Awesome. Do you believe the world is shifting to the right given the rise of Trump and the Brexit vote in the UK? And what can progressives do to stop this? That's a tough question, because I think that the party establishments around the world are definitely shifting to the right. Now, I don't necessarily know that voters are shifting to the right as well. I mean, kind of, you see the Democratic base kind of shifting to the right to support Hillary Clinton. But I think what we're really seeing across the globe is an anti-establishment sentiment, and we're really looking for change. So I think that, if anything, we're probably getting more liberal, just generally speaking, maybe not in the US right now, but we're getting more liberal. But most of all, I think we're getting more anti-establishment. So the Brexit vote was definitely anti-establishment, and if it's going to be a vote for Donald Trump in the US, that will be an anti-establishment vote. I think that's the general sentiment around the world, because political establishments in many countries are just failing. Hey Mike, first off, let me say that you and Kyle from Secular Talk are my two favorite political YouTubers, and I thank you for putting out objective commentary about our crazy political system. Thanks so much. I noticed that you said you're an avid gamer in the last two Q&A vids. I was wondering what your opinion on Pokemon is, and if you are considering getting Sun and Moon. I haven't played a Pokemon game for a very long time, so What I'll probably do is if I decide to play, I won't pick up Sun and Moon. I'll just play, I believe it's Pokemon Y. My fiance played it and loved it, so I'll just play that one since we already have it in our library. It's something that I might do. We'll see. What do you think of Evan McMullen? Evan McMullen is an establishment shill that is just trying to help Trump lose the election. That's it. He's just trying to spoil it for Trump. That's really, that's all it is. Hey, Mike and friends, assuming the polls hold and Hillary wins in November, do you think she will face a primary in 2020? No way. I don't think there's any chance that she gets primaried. Certainly, there'll be a contingent of the Democratic Party that remained in the party that's progressive that will want her to get primaried. But in terms of the establishment allowing it to happen, I don't think it's going to happen. But, I'd love to be wrong here. So, Mike, what's your opinion about men's rights? I kind of put men's rights into the same category as all lives matter, or the people who cry about white discrimination. As a man, I feel as though my rights are not under attack, so I feel as though this is a movement that's unnecessary. Sure, you could point to specific examples of the court system, for example, where men are disadvantaged in comparison to women, but overall, I've never had to worry about being sexually assaulted. I've never worried about not being hired because I'm pregnant. These are things I will never have to deal with. So it just seems really unnecessary, and it seems like the men's rights activists are people who are just bored. They just want to fight for something, but they don't know what to fight for, so they'll go ahead and throw their weight behind men's rights. It seems unnecessary. We have all our rights already. What's the point? Mike, do you believe there should be an independent Kurdish state? Absolutely. I support this unequivocally. I think that if the Kurdish people want their own state, then they should. And I think that this would create less divisions within the country of Iraq. You already have this split between Shias and Sunnis. And then you also have the Kurdish split as well, that, they want their own state. The Shias want their own state. The Sunnis want their own state in Iraq. So, I'm in favor of it. Measure 97 in Oregon. Thoughts on corporate reactions if it passes? So if it passes, there's just going to be a complete and utter meltdown for corporations in Oregon. So for those of you who don't know, Measure 97 is a ballot initiative in the state of Oregon that aims to raise taxes on large corporations. Now, they're crying about how, this is going to hurt small businesses, and it's basically going to be a sales tax passed on to the customers because they're going to raise all the prices. Stop. Just stop. This is not going to affect small businesses. It clearly states when you vote for it that it's going to be a tax on businesses making more than $25 million. If you're making more than $25 million a year, you're not a small business. Hate to break it to you, but you're just not. So all the fear-mongering is just hilarious. Oregon has such a low corporate tax rate that the fact that this hasn't been passed years ago is ridiculous. So I voted to raise taxes on corporations, and I hope everyone else does too. What would be your suggestion for people who are questioning their sexuality? Here's what I'll say. First and foremost, calm down. Because for me, when I started questioning my sexuality, the first thing I did was really freak out when I really started to question it. I always had inclinations that I was different, but when I really started to think, am I gay? Am I bisexual? What's going on? I just freaked out. And there's really no reason to freak out. People are going to be a lot more open and accepting of your decision than they were just a decade ago, or certainly 2 decades ago. So I'd say date men, date women, date people who are agender. Do what feels right to you. Don't feel pressured to fall into any of those categories. So we have the LGBT category, and I really felt pressured to pick a side. Am I gay? Am I bisexual? Don't feel the pressure. Just go with the flow and don't freak out. People will be more accepting of it than you think. And if your family rejects you, you're going to have friends that will accept you with open arms. So just don't freak out. It's not that big of a deal. It's pretty common now, and you're living in a time where you can openly question your sexuality, but it's not a big deal. So that's all the questions that we have time for today. So if you two would like to join the discussion and participate in next week's Candid Q&A, you could download the Candid app on iOS or Android. I'll see you there.